Hello and welcome to the sixth video within the Through the Eyes of a Student Python programming tutorial series. In this video I'll be discussing something pretty simple, which is just math operators, and by that I mean adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, stuff like that in within Python. So the first thing I'm going to actually want to do is just show you a basic example of how this works. So I'm assuming everyone already knows what an addition sign is. So just to show you that math is very similar in Python. So if I were just to type 2 plus 4, as you can see, it returns 6. So math, it can be calculated within Python. And just to show you subtraction as well, 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. And just to expand on that a little bit, so if I were to say assign a variable, a assigned to 2, then b is equal to 4, and then if I were to say a plus b, as you can see, it puts 6, because this variable holds 2 and this variable holds 4. And you can still overwrite them the same as if you were doing variables with just strings or whatever. A plus b is equal to 7. Alright, and just to go a little more go over all the basic math multipliers. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I'm assuming you already know basic addition and subtraction and everything. So it also works, just to show you, it works the same for multiplication, 16. You can even do division, and division will be done with a I guess a forward slash. So one thing to keep in mind is when you're doing a division with a single slash like this, it'll return it'll return an integer or a float. It'll have the decimal place. Alright, there is another way to divide within Python. I think it would be called like floor division or dividing by integers. And the difference would be, so say I were to do 9 divided by 2, and it returns 4.5. If I were to do floor division or dividing by integers or whatnot, all you got to do is put 2 division or slashes, and what happens is it rounds down, and it doesn't include, it turns it into an integer instead of a float. And this works with all of them. As you can see, it'll just round down. So that can be pretty handy in certain situations. And then also you can include exponents, which would look something like this. So we've already assigned a and b, so let's just do a, or yeah, so a, and then you would just do double asterisks. So a to the b power, which in this case would be 3. Press enter, and it is 64, because 4 to the third power would be 64. Make sense? Alright, and then the last math operator that I'm going to talk about would be the modulus operator. If you aren't familiar with this, all this means really is, I think it's also called the clock operator, because the way you really think about it is based off of a clock. But all it is just the remainder from division. So if I were to explain that better, so 8 divided by 2, as you probably know, 2 goes into 8. It's a whole number or an integer that it comes into. So if I were to use a modulus, which is a percent sign, that's how you identify it. It would pull the remainder, but as you know, there is no remainder here. So if you think about it, you should already know what the remainder would be, which it's 0, because there isn't a remainder within that. If I were to do something like 8 modulus 3, so 3 will go into 8 2 times with a remainder of 2. So the answer should be 2. Alright, so that's the modulus operator. So addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and then dividing by integers or floor division, and then also exponents, and then modulus. So these are the basic math operators that are used within Python, and they can be very handy. And actually the next tutorial video we'll be making a new program, and it will be including some of these operators, if not all of the operators. So I just thought I would go over this a little bit to give you an idea of how basic math can be used within Python. But if you have any questions or would like more thorough detail on the math within Python, just let me know. Please leave a comment below, and see you next time.